Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So shout out to Ugly Money. This is one of his clips. And this one, I want to talk about this one. I'm going to let you hear the clip. The caption says, she said a man has to be respectful when correcting me about being disrespectful to him. So that's the clip. That's sort of the context of the clip that you're going to hear. Obviously, these are clips from longer shows where longer conversations are being had, as most clips are. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then we're going to talk about it.
And then he knows how to correct me, when, where, tone, all that.
When you say how to correct you, you're saying that your man has to correct you in a certain particular manner to be corrected?
I think anybody that is going to be insightful enough to offer a correction should be tactful enough to deliver it in a way that it's not offensive. So, yes.
So your man has to not offend you while he's correcting you about something offensive that you did. Don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't make this shit up. She wanted to be corrected, and in a nice way about the disrespect what she did. So she want her man to respect her while correcting her about her disrespect. So when she disrespects you, you gotta lower your tone when you correct her about disrespecting you. Girl, man.
You catch me in some bullshit, then I'm gonna give you that. But if you don't catch me in no shit, right, you ain't finna do that shit. But you gonna talk to me like you want me talking.
So the fact that I'm correcting you, that means that you wouldn't know that it was bullshit. That's why I have to correct you. Don't worry about it. Fire them up tonight. Hello, kryptonite, Superman, accountability, women, same shit, kills them every time. Women hate to apologize and be wrong about shit. Get right back to that video, but I need to.
Now, here's the thing about it. The conversation about correction is nuanced sometimes. If you're talking about you as the woman were being disrespectful to your husband, and then you get met with that same energy and he come back at you with that energy, you can't be mad. You can't be mad about that. You did that. You were disrespectful first. You may have been raising your voice. You might have been trying to cuss him out, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be in, you know what I'm saying, getting real smart mouth with him, blah, 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 blah. So if he come back at you with that energy, like, you know what I'm saying, if he bark at you, like, who you talking to, you know what I'm saying, like that, you're going to have to eat that. You just going to have to eat that one because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You kicked it off with the foolishness. He met you where you were at. And once he meets you where you're at with that energy, you know, a lot of women like to then be emotional about that. And now the conversation isn't about the disrespect that she did first. Now it's about how your response was not only disrespectful, but it hurt her feelings. So now you got to deal with her feelings. And now she got to try to make you responsible for, you know what I'm saying, the whole situation. So there are a lot of females that love to do that. I would say the majority of females like to do that. They like to, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes they're doing it purposely to manipulate the situation. Sometimes it's like they don't even think about another response. Like that's the response they had. If we're talking about a woman did something that her husband doesn't approve, but it wasn't like disrespectful to him, like she didn't do something to him, but she did something that he didn't like or something that he feel like he need to correct. That's not always something that has to be, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gotta be yelled at for every correction. I ain't gotta be belittled, disrespected, you know what I'm saying, called out of my name or degraded for every time that you feel like you need to correct something that I did. And that's where the nuance is at, basically. because all correction is not based on the woman did some disrespectful or some crazy stuff like to him or directed at him. So she might have done something that he feels like, you know what, if I don't nip this in the butt, this is going to escalate, or she might do this again and I don't like it. So I need to let her know I don't like that. I don't like, you know what I'm saying, whatever she said or whatever she did or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't like that. So I need to communicate that to her, because if she do it again, I'm gonna be like extra mad. So, but if I don't correct it, I can't really be mad if she do it again, because she don't know that I don't like this. So let me talk to her. That's where, you know what I'm saying, like, let me get through to her. Let me talk to her in a way that I know that she listen, because the point is for her to get it, not for me to puff my chest out and be loud. So if I got the type of woman that you can just talk to, then you just talk to her. You know what I'm saying? And if she get it, you know what I'm saying, she don't be escalating and doing it too much and doing too much off the back of a conversation, is like, okay, then that can be that. You know what I'm saying? She'll take the correction and we can move on about it. You fall into something else if your husband has to correct you about the same thing multiple times. If he has to correct you about the same thing multiple times, now you don't get to say that he's being rude or he's being disrespectful if this is the fourth or fifth time he's had to say that, because now he's probably going to come with a different energy. Because if he came at you the first 2-3 times, you know what I'm saying, it was firm, but it was still like, you know what I'm saying, he was still trying to just get through to you, just still trying to talk to you, and you dismissed that and you just kept on trying to do what you wanted to do, yeah, he probably gonna bark at you next time. You see what I'm saying? He gonna scream on you the next time. And so once he get to that point where he gotta scream on you, you then can't break down and dissolve into, oh my God, you talking to me? Why you talking to me like that? No, because I tried the nice way. You wasn't listening. We already did that part. We already did the part where I sit down with you and hold your hand and tell it to you. You acted like you understood that, but then you went back X amount of time later and then you kind of did the same thing. Like, but then we talk about that though. So if I got to keep on coming back and the nice approach is not working, then maybe you do got to get screamed on. So now I'm not about to feel sorry for screaming on you, because why wasn't you listening the first like 3-4 times I said it? We could have been done with this. You the one got me, you know what I'm saying, circling back to some BS, right? You know what I'm saying? So now you as the female, you don't get to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, you not being fair. You talking to me, why you talking to me like that? You know, and it may hurt your feelings, but at the same time, maybe that was the thing that needed to get through to you. Maybe your feelings needed to be hurt in order to accept the correction he was trying to give you, because when he was trying to give it to you nice, you didn't take it. Right? You didn't take the medicine when he tried to do the choo-choo train. Now you just put it in your mouth. Okay? So that the correction thing, let me just say this too. All of that I just said is come from my perspective as a woman that don't mind accountability. I will take accountability for things that I do wrong. No, it doesn't feel good. No, it doesn't taste good, because and I've said this before, because as a woman, you don't want your man to see you as this bad person, you know what I'm saying, because you made a mistake or because you did something wrong. So that be the concern. You don't want your husband to now view you differently or to not like you anymore because you did something, right, that he didn't like or whatever the case may be. I get that part, but as grown women, you got to get over that you can't, to dwell on that, children dwell on that part of it, that part of accountability that brings a sense of shame, because that's one of the main reasons why women avoid accountability so much and will jump through hoops to avoid it, because with accountability is a sense of guilt and shame. Right? That comes with accountability. It comes with it. Because if once I hold myself accountable, once I accept accountability, I'm guilty of something and I'm ashamed of it. Right? Because it was the wrong thing to do. So now a lot of women don't know how to carry guilt and shame. And they don't know that they don't always have to carry it. They don't always have to be guilty forever about something that you did. And you don't always have to be shamed about forever about something that you did. If you go ahead and take accountability, you can actually just deal with the guilt and the shame that comes with it. And then you can move past that point, right? You can move past that point. And that accountability helps other people actually move past that point in regards to you, right? Because in order to change your husband's entire viewpoint of who you are, the thing that you did would have had to be so egregious that he would have to look at you side-eyed. Like he would have to give you a side eye at this point, because it's like, why'd you do that? But if we're talking about simplistic things or things that you can kind of get over, it's not like egregious. It doesn't have to like break the relationship or anything like that. Then as soon as you take accountability, you guys can begin to move past that point. You know what I'm saying? You can just move past that point, right? Now, if it ever get brought up again, you're probably going to experience the same feelings of guilt and shame, because guilt and shame are now connected to that thing emotionally for us as women. Guilt and shame I have so much guilt and shame connected to things that I might have did wrong, or sometimes if I think back to if I had done something to hurt somebody's feelings or something like that, especially if I didn't mean to do that. Or, you know what I'm saying? You do something and you didn't mean to hurt someone, or you didn't mean to disrespect them, or you didn't mean to, you know what I'm saying? Like if that wasn't your intention. And let's say you take accountability for it, you apologize for it, move on. Like the thing is over with. But if it's ever brought up again, I'll feel that same guilt. Like I'll feel that guilt and shame again. And so this is what women don't like. That's the part of the accountability that they abhor. They don't just not like it, they abhor it. Because feelings of guilt and shame are automatically attached to being wrong, doing something wrong to somebody, or whatever case. Right? And women will almost do anything to avoid that level of guilt and shame, right? So they try to not be ashamed of nothing. I'm not ashamed of anything, when in fact they're almost consumed with it. So anytime their feet are held to the fire of accountability, then that's where you get this overreaction from them, because they're already ashamed of whatever it is because they knew it was wrong. A lot of times you know that you did something, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't, but a lot of times, like these women, when I say these women, I mean like hyenas and stuff like that. They mean to be disrespectful. They're trying to be disrespectful. They're trying to be, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to be slick. So, and they know that that's wrong. So whenever it's a light is shine on it and say, wait, let me call that out, because you know what you just did. Now you've got this overreaction that they want to do. Now it's over emotional. Now they got to cry. Now they got to, you know what I'm saying, meltdown. They have a whole meltdown over something that if they had just taken accountability for, or better yet, not done it in the first place, wouldn't even have to talk about it. So this is one thing I'm gonna wrap this up. This is the thing that I'll be saying about the differences between hyenas and lionesses. Even though we're both women and we have female nature, it's the way we carry it that makes the difference. Because lionesses feel the same guilt and shame over accountability that hyenas do. It's just that we'll swallow it. You understand what I'm saying? We'll just take it. It doesn't feel any better to us than it does the hyena. It's just that it almost take it too much energy to not have the accountability. It take too much energy to dodge it, in point of fact. It take too much energy to dodge it, because if your husband brings something to light and you know, or he points out something that was wrong, and maybe in the back of your mind, you knew maybe it might have been right, or maybe you might have been oblivious to it, but now he's shining a light on some behavior of yours that he disapproves of. So now the shame is going to be rooted in, I didn't want to do something that my husband now disapproves of, because we don't want to disappoint them. We don't want to disappoint our husbands. So whenever they come to us and express disappointment, it's almost the same thing as disappointing your dad, or you know what I'm saying, disappointing your parents. It feels like that. Like, I feel bad for doing something that my husband, whom I respect and love, actually is quite disappointed about. He might not even be angry. It's even worse if he's disappointed rather than angry. I can almost deal with anger, but the disappointment is actually a lot worse than the anger, right? Because he might not even be mad, right? Because mad is something to get over. Disappointment might last a long time, right? And so the fear is always that if he's disappointed, he might stay disappointed. He might actually stay disappointed. He might never get over it. That's the fear. I'm not saying that that's true, but that's the fear. That's the thought that runs through a lioness's head. And what if he's always disappointed though? Like, what if this thing that I did disappoints him like forever? You know what I'm saying? Now he's just side-eyeing me all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm a disappointment, you know, or whatever. I'm a failure or what have you. So we don't like feeling like that, which is partially where the submission and all of that stuff comes from, because it mitigates too many instances of having to feel that level of guilt and shame tied to either my husband's anger or his disappointment, or a mixture of both. Does that make sense to everybody? Hyenas don't want the guilt and the shame just because they don't want it. It doesn't really matter to them a lot of times if the man is disappointed or mad, because in order for that to matter, you have to respect that man in the first place. So you have to respect him initially in order for his disappointment to actually mean something to you. They just want to be coddled and told that everything that they do is okay, and just let them remain in the chaos that they're in. And so any correction to bring them out of the chaos is never welcome, because correction means order, and it means coming out of the chaos, and it means, you know what I'm saying, getting yourself together. And they don't want to get themselves together. I told you, hyenas don't like order of no kind, of any kind at all, in any aspect and in any manifestation. They don't like it. It rubs them the wrong way completely. They get completely out of sorts about it. Right? So that's really what I wanted to come here and say about this particular topic. Women wanting to be led the way that she say do it. Correct me how I want to be corrected, but you can't dictate that. That's not for you as the woman to dictate. Just like your kids don't dictate how you correct them. They don't get to dictate that. Because my correction today might be sitting down talking to you. My correction tomorrow about something else might be getting in that butt and making sure. No, we can't talk about that. That's not a sit down. You understand? Anyway, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, is the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.